I'm Janice Banther, and today we're going to be talking about things that affect both childbirth educators and doulas on how we teach and how we present things. The first thing I want to talk about is our visuals that we use during childbirth classes. They're pretty big things, things like this. So one thing that you don't want to do is go ahead and have all these things taped up on your walls all around your room that you're going to be teaching in before your class comes in. Whether it's your anatomy and physiology posters, or it's your face posters like this, or effacement, or different things, or it's the signs of postpartum depression, how to know if it's a Braxton Hicks contraction. You want to pull these visuals out as you are using them. So when you're starting to talk about that subject, so if I'm talking about the stages and phases of labor, then I pull this one out, I put it on my board, and I talk about it. And then if I want to, I take it and I tape it onto the wall, and then I can leave it on the wall and they can look at it for that. After that, it comes down after that class is over, and then for the next class other ones go up, because if I put up every single visual up on the wall and left it up there for the full time of childbirth classes, there would be no walls left. I'd have things taped on people's faces trying to put up all the visuals. So you want to be able to use the visual and then tape it up on the wall, and then go on to the next visual that you'll be using, talk about it, maybe write some things on your whiteboard about it, and then tape it up on the wall. And that's the best way to do that, because you're keeping their attention. If you have all your visuals up on your wall already before they walk in the door, and they're looking at these and they're looking around your room, and then while you're teaching, and they're not looking at you, they're reading everything else, and you can see everybody's eyes are everywhere else but on you. And you don't want that. You want their eyes to be towards the front, listening to you. And then you pull the visual out, you explain it, and then you can put it up on the wall for them to look at, and then take it down. So the next series of classes that you're teaching, if like it's a 3-series class or a 4-series class, you'll have new wall space to put up visuals. Now, let's say you have birth affirmations. Tell me one birth junkie that does not like birth affirmations. We all love them. Well, not all people who are pregnant love them. So we need to give them to them gently. So one of the things that we do is we've got birth affirmations, and you can just Google them and find them online. And we took them on using a nice clear font to be able to read, and did it on paper like this, did colored papers. This says, birth is a natural, wondrous event. And then we had it laminated. And we did this with all the ones that we have. The baby is descending naturally. The head fits perfectly in my pelvis. And we have probably about 15 of these. And with these, you don't want to have these plastered all over one wall the very first class. Again, that could be like, whoa, that's a lot of information at one time. I'm not sure I want to be talking about my pelvis in the very first class. Some girls are like that. So every class, put up different affirmations, maybe 3 or 4. If you have your own bathroom area for your moms to use, that you're not using a public area, put one in the bathroom that they get to see there too. And maybe put 1 or 2 up, then take those down. And the next series of classes, put 2 or 3 or more up, and then take those down. And that way you're not constantly having the same ones up. You're not adding to them to the whole wall, and they're able to write these down if they want to, or however they want to use it and, for their birth. It might help them right then in the class, or it could be that it might help them as they write these things down and use them. As an example, and I've used this before in one of my other videos, I was showing these to a private childbirth class client, and I was going to be her doula, and she said, could I take those home and write those down? I said, well, sure. And I thought she'd come back the next week, bring these back to me, and have index cards with these things written down. No, she brought back this. Color-coded. They're all different colors. Cut out with cute little scissors, laminated, put on a ring. And I could not believe this. I went, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did this. And she said, what can I say? I used to be a kindergarten teacher. And so this was really cool. I liked it. And I said, I love this. And so as a gift, she made one for me. This girl happened to be a Christian. So, and also besides all the birth affirmations that I had given her, she also added scripture verses that were important for her to have during her birth. So during her birth, she asked if I would read these to her, and actually her husband was the one who read these to her, and I've been to her with all 4 of her births. We've used the same ring for all 4 births, and her husband has read through almost every single one of these rings. This came in very handy because we left the scripture verses in there besides our birth affirmations. And the different doulas who work here at For the Love of Birth have used this ring. for different clients during their births, saying they want to have birth affirmations. And I had one just 3 weeks ago now, and she's a Christian, and she was going through a very difficult time in her labor, and I could tell she needed to hear some things. And so I asked her, I said, would you like me to talk to you about some things I have on that ring? She said, yes, but I only want to hear the scripture verses. I said, okay. So then I looked at this, I had this on my leg, I was holding her hand, and I was able to flip it easily, one by one, to find the verses that I thought she might want to hear. And she would either go, so I knew to either stop reading whatever I was doing, or else repeat whatever I was just last saying. Birth affirmations mean a lot to the moms after they fully understand what they are. Giving it to them all at one time in their face in a childbirth class, or given to them at a prenatal visit as a doula, it's kind of hard for them. So you want to be able to just bring them out slowly, one at a time or two at a time. And then the same thing with the visuals that I was showing you, making sure you don't put them all up at one time. It's just a good teaching technique. It's a way of keeping their attention and helping them to focus on what you're talking on at that time, and then moving on to the next subject as you move on. I hope this has been a help to you, and that you're able to use this in your classes or else in your doula work. If you have any comments or any suggestions or questions, please write them down below, or else all my information is below too, my Twitter, my email, and also my the Facebook account for the Love of Birth. Looking forward to talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.